Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, the severe weather issues across the plains and Midwest over the next couple of days, and then moving further to the east come Wednesday and Thursday. Plus, we'll look at the upcoming Memorial Day holiday weekend. That is tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So we start off this Monday on the quiet side. There's some leftover severe thunderstorm watches up in northeastern Oklahoma. There's some fog issues from central Pennsylvania down into central Virginia, and some cold weather issues up in the Northwest, where we actually have a couple of counties in southern Montana under winter storm warnings, believe it or not. And the winter storm watches, too, are up in parts of southern Montana. So in some places, winter never seems to end. In the meantime, here in the East, with not a whole lot happening, we can focus our attention on dry weather, sunshine for the most part, and rising temperatures over the next couple of days. The trick is we got to get rid of the onshore flow today. But once the winds turn around to southwest, and uh, that'll happen beginning later tomorrow and certainly on Wednesday, we're going to see temperatures zooming up into the 80s in many locations in the Northeast, except for maybe right along the coast, and no rain forecast until Thursday, which is dandy. Meanwhile, there's going to be a lot of severe weather action in the plains to the upper Midwest over the next couple of days. And this is where the Storm Prediction Center is focusing its attention. Otherwise, on the satellite, we've got some thunderstorms off the Florida coast. We've got some clouds up in the Rockies, and that's just about it at the moment. And here's what the radar looks like as of 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Uh, we have no activity at all from Maine down to Florida, except some storms just off the southeast coast of Florida. And then we have showers and thunderstorms from eastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin, southward down and through Iowa, and continuing into Oklahoma. They've weakened from the overnight, and then we're going to see them start to strengthen again as we move through the day. The Storm Prediction Center today: enhanced risk northeast Colorado, southwest Nebraska, and a small portion of northwestern Kansas. The slight risk pushing into southern Minnesota and into Iowa. Also, we have an area of slight risk indicated for northeastern Illinois, northwestern Indiana, and southeast Wisconsin. And this includes Chicago and Milwaukee, and a broad 2% area of tornado risk, with a small area in the enhanced zone of 5% tornado risk being indicated. Now, tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. This is for Tuesday into Wednesday. We have, and this is a forecast that's been carried over since the weekend when it was in the long range. The Storm Prediction Center has slight to enhanced risk from northeast Oklahoma all the way up into the Great Lakes. And we've got this area of enhanced risk in covering almost all of Iowa, western Illinois, the northern half of Missouri, and a good chunk of southern and central Wisconsin. And this is also going to come with tornado risk, but we have a 10% tornado risk indicated, and that hatched area means that there is risk here of EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. So this is, I've been mentioning this the last couple of days, that this outbreak for Tuesday into Wednesday could be really important for the upper Midwest. And we of course, will be paying close attention to this. Then, as we move on to day three, which is Wednesday into Thursday morning, slight risk from central Texas northeastward all the way up into Ohio, marginal risk up into western New York. And as far as the long range is concerned, we have on day four risk returning next week to, I'm sorry, on day four, which is Thursday into Friday, for Oklahoma, northeast and north central Texas, northwest Louisiana into Arkansas. As far as the northeast and mid Atlantic states are concerned with this next cold front, I think there's a shot that we could see SPC go with a marginal risk for severe weather for isolated severe thunderstorms later on Thursday. And that looks to be, by the way, the only chance of rain from now through Sunday. So just bear that in mind. WPC rainfall amounts in the Northeast generally a quarter of an inch or less, in some cases a tenth of an inch or less. Also along the Gulf Coast, rainfall really calms down here with little to no rain over the next 7 days. But if you look in the middle Mississippi Valley, if you go up the Mississippi and Missouri River valleys into to the Canadian border, we're talking several inches of more rain over the next 7 days, and also up in the northern Rockies, where we're seeing anywhere from an inch to as much as 2.5 inches possible there, and in a small portion of the Pacific Northwest. So it's a fairly easy, straightforward run here on the forecast for this week. Again, today, south winds are going to keep temperatures down just a little bit, but we should certainly see temperatures in the 70s in eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England with a fair amount of sunshine. There will be severe weather tonight from the plains to the upper Midwest, and you can see how the GFS develops low pressure in Kansas and starts to move it to the northeast. Tuesday and Wednesday in the northeast and northern mid-Atlantic states, the winds go southwest. So that means everybody should warm up unless you're literally standing right at the beaches, and temperatures will be reaching the 80s both Tuesday and Wednesday. Might even be some warm spots, especially on Wednesday, where we could see temperatures hit 90. Meanwhile, this low strengthens as it moves northeastward, and this is going to be the severe weather trigger for the upper Midwest later Tuesday and Tuesday night. You can see the GFS is really bullish on developing a strong low that goes up into northeastern Minnesota and the trailing cold front. In the east here, our weather is fine. We get to Thursday. This is when we see a cold front moving through with a chance for maybe some showers and a possible thunderstorm or two, especially late in the day into Friday evening. Temperatures will be in the 80s on Thursday. And then Friday into the weekend, it looks to be mostly dry. I don't know if it's going to be picture perfect. In fact, I think we're probably going to have some cloud issues to deal with, but at least for Friday and for Saturday, and I'm going to bet for most of Sunday, although the GFS now shows some showers coming up on Sunday. For now, I'm going to go with the idea that the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be dry, and that Monday, Memorial Day itself, could wind up seeing some showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two later on the day. It's not going to be a particularly warm weekend. On the other hand, temperatures will still probably be a little bit above average. And we'll get into this a bit more as the week rolls on, and we could lend some certitude as to how the holiday weekend forecast is going. We'll try to do that tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, and that's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Enjoy your Monday.